you guys. I'm so excited. What an exciting day. So if you don't, I'm assuming if you're watching this, say hi, by the way. There's some, send me a comment to let me know that you're there. There are some instructions that I guess if you log in a certain way that I'll see who you are. Because on StreamYard, this is done through StreamYard. Hi, whoever said hi. So whoever just said hi, it says Facebook user. So I don't know who you are. So if you didn't log in whatever way the instruction says on the post, there's like above, there's some instructions from StreamYard. I won't know who you are. So you'll just have to like, hello, whoever said hello. You'll have to like, tell me who you are if you want me to know who you are. So, okay. So anyways, what a day, you guys. This is an insane day. So I'm about to pull in an author to help celebrate. Today is 1 year since I opened the group up, and never in my wildest dreams. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about the group. We're going to talk about how it started. If you guys have questions. Hey, Marie. Oh, hey, Kathleen. Thank you. Kathleen Gifford did it. However you did it, Kathleen, that works. So I can see who you are. Any questions you guys have, we're going to answer any questions about the group, the direction we're heading with it, what the plans were in the beginning. If you have any questions about me, you want to know anything about, anything about me. I don't know who would want to know anything about me, but if you do, I'll tell you. And then we have Angela Hudson on here to celebrate, you guys. Angela, I'm about to pull her in. You guys, she is the author of Dark Secrets and Evernight Fae. And she was and she's written more books than that too, but she was the very first author to join the group. And she actually joined it when I only had 15 people. And then she was the very first author to let me post about my group and her group. And so I just thought, like, that's so fitting to have her on here and talk. And we're just, like I said, we have no script. We have no plan. We're just going to talk. We're going to say hi. Hey, Brianna. Oh my gosh. Hey, Lydia. Okay, awesome, you guys. And we're just going to talk, and we're just going to be girls. And that's just like, I guess, I got to be careful when I'm live. Like when I say things like that, it's like, what is Rebecca saying? So that's another reason why you should watch these lives, because you just never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Okay, that being said, I'm going to bring her in. So here is Angie.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Yay. So Angie is in Australia. If you guys didn't know, you can hear that accent. Whereas I'm sweating right now, she's not, because it is winter.
Freezing cold. Yep.
Yeah, totally different seasons there and everything. So, anyways, Angie, thank you for coming on to help celebrate with me.
Yeah, happy to be here.
I literally just messaged you last night. I was literally sitting back there reading Shadowlands. I finally got to the final book in Savage Lands, finally. And I don't know, I was like, oh my gosh, tomorrow's August 3rd. And that's been one whole year. And at the very beginning, I never ever thought this would happen. And you were so cool to let me post in your group, about this group in the very beginning. And I remember it just took off, after that, and it's just been, and then I thought, I'm going to reach out to her and see if she wants to do this. Plus you just had books come out and we could talk about your books. So anyway, yeah. So thanks for coming on, for sure.
I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah.
I can't believe how fast the group has grown.
It's been, like I said, it's been absolutely crazy. So, I don't know, a lot of people who are, some people know this, some people don't know this. I kind of thought, like, with this, I would just kind of give the scoop, like on what happened and how it all started and stuff. A lot of people don't realize that I was an admin in your group before I opened up this group.
Yeah.
In your Facebook group. And, Angie is one of those authors that responds, like you go in her group and you write a comment and she responds back, and that's just how it started, right? Like, it was just me on there, and I just started, like, I think I was giving you tips, right? Like,
I should have looked up what the messages were, but I didn't think to do that bit. That's how it started.
Yeah, so you had a group, like, your group was, how big was your group when I joined it? I think it was like 400 people or something.
Yeah, it wasn't many. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And I remember, sorry?
And then you started growing that group from there. And I think it went up really fast at first, didn't it? It was like hundreds of people coming in per day. So
Yeah, it's yeah, it did. So like so let me see. So what happened was, from my my best recollection is, I had started this group actually a couple, I think it was like 2019 or 2020. And it was supposed to be just like 15 of my friends. And I was posting like every time I read a book, I was posting whatever that series was. And I found out pretty quickly that out of all my friends, I was really the only person that read this genre. Not the only, I mean, there's a couple people in the group. I want to be fair to them. You know, they did too, but really I was like a one-woman show. I was like posting all the time. And then at the same time, let's see, I had joined, I started joining authors Facebook groups. And then I found out about Dark Secrets, your series, through Stephanie Hudson. So I had been on, which is funny because you guys both have the same last name.
yeah.
I don't know. So I had joined Stephanie Hudson's group, and someone had recommended Dark Secrets to me, and then I joined your group, and then I couldn't do the math because I was like, I couldn't figure it out because you only had 400 people in your group, but then like you had 6,000 followers on your author page.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, like that, like in my brain that didn't compute. And then plus I was reading Dark Secrets and I was falling in love with it. And I'm like, how does everybody not know about this series? Like it's amazing, you know? Yeah. And then I started talking to you, and then you messaged me and you were like, you want to be an admin? And I was like, oh my gosh, this author just asked me. I mean, I had like major fangirling moments, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then we just had fun, right?
Yeah, it's been fun. I think I've got an audio delay. I don't know if that's, and I can hear something else in the background.
Oh, you can? Maybe my like oh, Lydia. You guys hear a delay? Let us know in the comments. Oh, my mom just said hi. Yay. Oh. Lydia, yay. I love you, girl. And Dawn is the one. Oh, she just popped in. She said she's got to sleep. She's in the UK. Right. She's the one who made the graphic. And Dawn, if you're still on, you're probably out now. I took a screenshot of your video and used it as the background for this. I love it. It's so cool. Anyways. Oh, Kathleen says it stopped. Okay.
Oh, cool.
All right, sorry. Did I cut you off then? I didn't know if I was just like rambling.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And then you didn't get to say whatever it is you wanted to say. Sorry.
I don't know what I was going to say. It's gone, whatever it was.
Well, so I just jumped in your group, and then we started kind of breathing some life into it, right? We started doing like all kinds of different posts. You did a big giveaway. You did a big giveaway for Dark Secrets.
And then the what was the game that you started doing? There was like the emoji thing as well. And then there was
that's the birth of the emojis, was those. Yeah. It was the duking it out between David and Jace.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. And people loved that. Yeah.
That was so much fun. And I did so many emojis on it. And I didn't even realize I had an emoji talent. And then I started putting in my reviews. That's right. The whole David, that was so funny. So what we did is an Evernight Dark Secrets. It's a love corner. It's actually a love triangle. Did you know that? Did you see my TikTok on love triangles versus love corners?
Yeah. Yeah. That's fascinating. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So like, would you want to tell everybody, instead of me keep talking, like what the difference is between a love triangle and a love corner?
You'll probably word it better than I will, but it's like, because a love triangle is where one person loves that person and that person loves that person.
Yes.
That person loves that person.
Yes.
Yeah. Where the corner is like, they're both loving that person. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So a love triangle always has some kind of bisexuality into it, right? There's something, right? Because with three people, you know, so that's right. And then a love corner is two people loving the same person.
Yeah.
So all these love triangles we talk about are really love corners.
Yeah.
So like I learned it on TikTok. So
yeah, it's fascinating. I love that.
Yeah. So you have David and Jace are your two main guys in Dark Secrets.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what made me think. You and I were talking. I mean, we had a lot of late nights. We were talking about different things. A lot of late nights. And I thought, you know, there's all these, like, people are diehard Jace lovers or they're diehard David lovers.
Yeah, there's no in between.
No, and they're like, and they like, it's a full blown out, and that's what gave me the idea of having it duke it out. So I wrote like, and it's so funny because like I'm so positive, but if you go and read those posts, they're actually really, really negative. You know,
Are they?
yes, it's like I ripped apart David. So like I would rip apart David, and then it would be Team Jace's responsible, like they were up to defend. No, I would rip apart David, and then it would be Team David that would have to, that would have to defend him.
Yeah.
And then and the next day I would rip apart Jace, and then the other team, or Team Jace would have to defend it. Sorry, I got confused. It's been so long.
Yeah, and it was good. People loved it.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun, you know. And then I had a really good time. It was like you really you started kind of this whole thing for me. Like I was just a regular reader in the authors group until you started talking to me, and it was like, wow, I'm talking to an author. Like I'm talking to this person of the series that I really love, and I'm helping her group out. And that really like opened up my mind, because at that point I hadn't opened up my group yet. And I had the group, and it wasn't really doing anything, right? Not yet. I mean, like I said, it was like a one-woman show, and I was in all these other book lover groups, and I just started noticing like things that I liked about them and things that I didn't like about them. And that whole incident happened with you in one book lover group, which we won't say the name of. But if you are an Angie fan and you're watching, and you've been in her group for, I don't know, what was that? Like probably a year and a half ago, right? Like probably, because it was before I opened this one.
Yeah.
That whole incident happened, and it made me really mad, you know?
Yeah.
And it was really bad. And basically, Angie didn't do anything wrong, but she got booted. She got blocked, not blocked, booted, right? Booted out of the group.
And anyone who dared speak about dark secrets in that group was blocked and booted out as well, and their post deleted. Yeah.
Right. And no, so if I went on a comment and I recommended dark secrets in this book lover group, they kicked me out of the group.
Yeah.
You know,
they did to a lot of people.
They kicked out a lot of people. And then we were having people post in your group saying, like, what is going on here? I just recommended dark secrets and I just got booted out of the group, you know?
Yeah.
It was really bad. It was, someone's saying it right now. See, on the comments, I got booted out of the group. Just so you know what group it is. Don't put it in the comments, because we're trying not to group bash.
Yeah.
But, you know, so that whole thing happened, and that got me really mad, because it felt like it was just totally unfair to you and not supporting authors.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I was really tired of people being negative. Like, you know, you go in these book groups, and I don't want to say not all of them. There are some really good ones out there, right? I'll go ahead and say one that's really good right now, because I'm a huge fan, is Paranormal Romance Book Lovers.
Yeah.
Big fan of that group. Laura Holland, who's the admin, is amazing.
I think I might be in that one, actually.
Love that group.
Yeah.
I will recommend that forever. They're just really good. And they've also stepped up and supported me in different ways as well. So, but anyways, you know, I just started noticing that, like, a lot of people are, someone will go on there and be like, oh, I absolutely love ACOTAR, you know? And then you get like, I don't know, 20 comments of people hating ACOTAR, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, who does that help? You know, it was so I don't think people realize, like, when they do stuff like that they actually make the OP feel really bad. Like, it's very deflating to read someone dissing your book. And you almost take it personally, you know, you almost do. 'Cause it's like, you love it so much. And then someone comes on and just like, you know? Yeah. So yeah. So basically all that happened. And then I was like, I'm opening my own group up. I'm just doing it. And then I went and made all the rules, and then I posted in your group, and I think I asked for permission after I posted.
But you knew it would be fine.
I knew it'd be fine, because you always have been so cool, you know. And then it just blew up from there. It's just crazy. And then it broke my heart when I had to, like, ask you if I could step down for being an admin.
Yeah. I was like, what are you worried about? No, of course, that's fine.
Thank you for being so cool about that. I didn't want to, you know, I just didn't, because this has gotten to be so big, and I'd gotten so much with all my reviews and stuff. I didn't want to have, like, an affiliation, you know, Because then, like, when I write a review for Dark Secrets, people are gonna be like, "Oh, she's just writing it because she's friends with Angie," you know.
Yeah.
It's,
Good idea.
I think most people know that hopefully most people know that I'll always be honest. You know, that's just kind of who I am. But yeah. So, Kathleen says she loves the group because it stays positive. And Brianna, they haven't caught you yet. In that group? Oh my God.
Sneaky.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm just sorry that happened to you. Like it did. I know that was kind of disheartening.
Yeah, especially because it was so many of the people in that group actually came to read Dark Secrets after the recommendations and they loved it. And then they came to join my group as well. But yeah, so it was just like the right fit group for that book series, you know, but yeah, they shut it down. So I don't know, still don't know why to this day, but that's all right. We've moved on. And, you know, the book group that I'm in now, this one, is the best group. So my favorite group. Although my TBR list has grown so much since being in this group. So
I always laugh when I see that. I see those comments and they just make me so happy. People are like, oh, well, you know, like they'll comment on the welcome post and they'll be like, welcome to the group and your TBR is going to explode. And I'm just, that makes me so happy. I don't know why. It's kind of like a, you know.
Yeah. Evil laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's one of the things I love best too about the group is it's just nice to meet other people that read as much as I do, you know. Yep. It's so cool. And then like all the different books that you like, there's so many that I pick up that I never would have saw, you know, because someone recommended it.
Yeah. And a lot of authors being in the group as well. So they will sometimes come and share their books there and, you know, you find some great books that you wouldn't have otherwise. So yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to keep it like, you know, I wanted to be, because we are so positive, an author knows they can come in here and they're not going to see anybody say anything bad about their book. They're not going to stumble upon a nasty comment or a DNF comment or, you know, like, oh, this book has no character development. Like they're not going to see anything like that, you know?
Yeah. And they won't get kind of vilified for sharing their books as well, which is good. So
yeah. And you know, and they're going to be able to be, you know, people forget that authors are readers too, you know?
Yeah.
And they're human and they're readers, you know, like their feelings get hurt. People just like, I don't think people realize like when they write a post or a comment that there is a strong likelihood that the author could read it. Like, I think people just think that authors are so busy off in their author cave that they're not on Facebook, but they're so active on social media. So many are, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And some are quite sensitive to comments on their books. Like I'm fine. Like if people come and say, I hated it and I don't like David and I hate Ara, all that, I'm cool with that. But there's a lot of authors who would be very crushed and it could even stop them from even writing ever again, which would be really sad. You know, you don't want that. So we need everyone's voice out there. We need more writers. So really just want to encourage them and, you know, make it a really supportive environment. I think reviews can be harsh enough. They don't need to see it in Facebook comments, I think.
You know what? That's the thing is Amazon and Goodreads, man, you go there, you can see, especially Goodreads. I do not know what it is with some of the things I've seen over there, but like, you know, they can do it there, you know, they don't need to do it here. That's the way, that's why, you know, and the other thing is, it's like, it's so subjective, you know, like if someone doesn't like Ara or someone doesn't like David, that's just one person's opinion. You know, it's like someone else may absolutely love those characters, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, opinions are funny. Like I saw 2 reviews on my book, for example, and the title of the first review was this book is not long enough. And then the review under it said this book is too long. And I was like, well, that's just a perfect example of people having varying opinions. So yeah.
That's exactly right. That's you know, and like the thing is that you know, when we say things that are negative, what are we doing, right? When we say things that are negative about books, right, that we don't care for, whatever it is that we don't care for because we're voicing our opinion, whatever. The person who hasn't read that book, who reads that comment, you may have just stopped them from trying the book.
Yep.
And it's like, well, are we does our opinions matter so much that it trumps someone else from forming their own opinion who may have really loved the book?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
spot on. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, that's how I've always kind of thought of it too. So like, I don't know, I just think like all the positive comments, people can read those and they can make up their mind based off of what's there. And if that's not enough for them, I mean, they can read more on Amazon or Goodreads before they get the book, right?
Yeah.
They can do their due diligence and go say, okay, well, you know what? I know this Facebook group I'm in. Everyone seems to love this book. They don't allow negative comments. Let me go to Amazon and see what someone says over there. Like they can do that, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's right. Yeah, there's plenty of negative out there to find if you want to find it. So
yeah, and other Facebook groups too, you know.
Yeah,
there's plenty.
Yeah, lots of them.
But anyways, let's talk about Dark Secrets, because I know we've been like going on and on. So Dark Secrets, do you want to talk about Dark Secrets a little bit for anyone who's watching who doesn't know anything about it? A little bit about it.
I'm terrible at talking about my books. Like I always, people say, oh, what's it about? And I'm like, vampires, people being tortured, I suppose. That's all I can come up with usually. But I've seen someone just said on the comments here that we need a Dark Secrets TV series. And yes, that would be phenomenal. I'm definitely going to work on that in the future. But yeah,
that would be amazing. You certainly have enough books and plot line for a TV series.
Yes. There's actually enough to do a very long TV series, I think, because you can have the main plot running throughout the entire series, and then you could have all these other little plots and following different characters and everything. So I did write it to be a huge world. So although not in the beginning, I actually wrote it to be one book in the beginning, and then everyone demanded another book. And so I had to think, oh, what's this going to be about then, and weave a story from that. But yeah, it's essentially, for people who don't know what Dark Secrets is, I suppose it starts out a bit young adult. It seems like a young adult book. Yep, that's the mug from Jace. So generally people will come into the book and they'll either be, they'll really fall for David, or they'll really fall for Jace. And when you meet Jace in the first book, you'll be like, how the hell can anyone fall for Jace? Like, after what he does to Ara, it's pretty brutal. So it's amazing that people can fall for Jace, but he ends up, I think, being, I don't know if he's one of the most liked guys in the series, or whether David's, it's hard to say.
It's hard. Yeah. You go back and forth, like you just said. I mean, you think when you first meet Jace, you think there's no way, but then you find a way to explain things, and then you start to like. But some people who never like Jace, they never get over what happens in the first book. Like they can never forgive him for what he did.
And I've actually had a lot of people say that the In Another Life series, which was the spin-off, what would have happened if this hadn't happened series, people like Jason that more because he's a little bit darker, a little bit more edgy. So yeah, that's weird. They're like, I don't like him in the main series, but I do like him in that one. So
yeah. He is, I think of him in the In Another Life. I think he's like a combo between Jace in the main series and David in the main series. I think he's like a combination.
Yeah,
so that's he's my favorite. Jace in Another Life. He's my favorite of all of them.
I like him in that one too.
He's a bit
darker.
Yeah,
yeah. So for people who don't know, these vampires they're happy to kill. They don't care. That's their food, and they don't want to hear humans telling them that they should not eat humans. So yeah, it's dark.
Oh, Brianna says she loves Jason. However, she prefers David.
Yeah.
You see Brianna's? Oh, yeah, Catherine wrote, everyone loves different things, so let people try it for themselves instead of bashing something because you don't like it. Yes, girl. My policy on reviews is if I don't love it, I don't review. Yes.
I'm the same. Yeah.
That's me. So I don't do anything less than 4 stars. Now, I realize that kind of defeats the whole point of the star system. I do get that, right? Like if everybody did what I did, then it does kind of defeat the point of the star. I do get that. However, I do think the number of ratings makes a difference, you know? So like if people really love a series, it's going to start blowing up with the ratings, right? Like I do think, well, as long as it's getting marketed out there and stuff, right? Like some series for some reason never get the attention, but you know what I mean? Like I feel like people will start, catch on. They'll get more, the number of ratings will.
Yeah. Although having said that though, there are a lot of people who won't read a book if it only has 4 and 5-star reviews. So there is some merit to the 1-star reviews as well. So because people will go, oh, it's got 700 4-star reviews, it must be only friends and family reading it. It's like, well, I wish I had that many friends and family, but
well, I see stuff like that. I tend to think like anything over, I would say 30 or so, 30 ratings. I start to think, okay, we're probably past the friends and family because that's a lot of people to read a book and review if you think about it. But
it is, yeah.
I suppose
hard to get reviews. So yeah, if it's got over 30 reviews, it's doing really well. So yeah, but sometimes the 1 stars, like I've read books because of the 1-star review. You know, they'll be like, oh, you know, I don't know, too much sex in this book, and I'm like, sign me up. So.
I know. I'm one of those too. I'm like, what? All right, I'll give that a try. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
They talk about the darker things in books, like I don't know, spousal abuse and stuff like that, and I'm like, it's dark, it's twisted, give it to me, you know, like.
Yeah, I don't
very messed up.
Triggers when you read? Do you have any triggers?
No,
I don't either.
No.
Well,
I'm lucky like that. So
maybe I guess maybe I kind of do, like horror, but like twisted, demented horror. So I can handle violence, but like if it's like really sick the way it's done, I can get scares from it. Just I've always been that way. Like as a kid, seeing some like, sick movies, like really twisted stuff.
Yeah, movies are hard. Like I can't watch twisted, horrible movies, but I can definitely read that stuff, and I can definitely write that stuff. So, yeah.
I don't know why. Like even though I just said that, like for some reason I can handle it in a book, but if I see it on a movie screen, I get really upset and I'll like leave the room. You know,
it's awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think actually, you know what, I say I don't have triggers, but I think like I don't class myself as a feminist, but sometimes I'll see really misogynistic stuff in books, and that'll make me want to put it down. I'm like, oh, don't want anything to do with that at sometimes, depending on what it is. But yeah, then yeah, just depends on what it is. But like,
pregnancy trope.
Yeah.
I'm not a pregnancy trope fan, man. I am not. I just don't. Like you guys probably are like never, anyone who's watching probably notice I don't do a lot of recs on pregnancy trope books. I'm not, I can handle like so yours, I can handle because it's a part of the plot line and it's going somewhere with it. Like, so I'm okay when authors like have babies and the babies grow up and they're characters in the series. Like that for me is like an extension of the plot line. That's okay. But I'm not a fan of the happily ever after pregnancies.
Yeah.
The
fade
epilogue.
to black when they're married, they're pregnant, and then
Yes, like the whole book has been about something, and the very last epilogue, all of a sudden everyone's happy, we get pregnant, we have a baby, kids are running around, you know, kumbaya, end of book. That
there are other ways to be happy.
Oh, Kathleen says she's the same way. She can watch it, but she can't watch it, but she can read everything. Yeah. The violent stuff. Yeah. So you don't really have any triggers, but you don't like the anti-feminist stuff. But you're not a feminist. But
it's like I suppose because there was that one book. I don't know if I should mention that. You know, I was talking to you about it last night and saying how I'd stopped reading because he was talking about how she just needs to have.
You can correct yourself. Yeah, you can say it. You can say it. Yeah, I think that's
so. For people who don't know, I was reading Stephanie Hudson's book. What was the first one called?
Afterlife.
Afterlife. Yeah. And I got to the point where the main characters arrived in the car at her sister's place? Because it's been a while since I started reading it. Yeah. And the sisters.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. And the sister's boyfriend or husband or whoever he is was talking about, or this is what I thought he was talking.
Oh, she cut off. Or is it me that cut off? I don't know who it is. Can you guys comment? Is it me? Is it you?
I'm not sure.
I don't. Oh, you're back.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Okay. All right. We're past it. Oh, it was so was I still talking, Brianna? It was Angela. Okay. It was you, Angie. Okay.
I'm off, I think.
All right. You're back on now.
I'm back. Okay, cool.
Brianna.
Right. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We've got a little bit of a delay, I think, just a slight delay. Yeah, so I was reading it and the guy was talking about how the girl just needs to get a couple of kids in her to fulfill the dream. And so I put the book down. I was like, oh, that's just, why do you have to have kids if you're going to be happy? Like, I don't want to read this, but I was going through a lot of stuff in my own personal life at that point. So I think I wasn't reading properly. And I spoke to Rebecca about it and she was like, oh, really? I don't remember that. And I'm like, oh, all right. So I flipped back through and then I reread that passage and I was like, oh, he was talking about the house, not the girl. So, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I got that wrong. So yeah, it was pretty funny. So yeah, it just highlighted to me how you really can't you can't read when you're in a bad place. It's really hard to take in what you're reading. So definitely got plans to go back and read that when I go on my lengthy flight to Florida in 9 weeks' time. So I'm hoping to finish at least 2 books of the series to begin with, because everyone raves about it so much. So I'm like, it must be good if this many people are recommending it all over the internet. So definitely want to read that.
I'm so excited.
But yes, going back to triggers, that's I'm thinking that things like that might be a trigger for me to make me go, I don't want to read this. So, but I could have just been really cranky at the time. So
yeah. Well, no, I mean, like moods play a big part, right? When we read, I always say I'm a big mood reader. I have to be like in the mood to read whatever. Like recently I just went through a whole like rejected mates thing. I must have read like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 different rejected mates back to back. You know, I was in the mood for rejected mates. So I think, so it's a mood thing. It's also a mental thing, whatever place you're in, but it definitely does make a difference. You know, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to think right now if there's any series that I read that I started and I was moody and I came back to it and I ended up loving it. I know there's going to be a series. I just can't remember like off the top of my head. Where I did that, but I know I've done that. Before.
Yeah. I think everyone would have. Yeah. It would be interesting actually if people are still able to watch, if we didn't go off, but if they can comment what book they did that with, where they stopped reading out of anger or something, or they were moody and then they've gone back and gone, hang on a minute. I actually did that with the TV series.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I did it with the Last Kingdom TV series.
Okay, Last Kingdom. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I watched that and I wasn't in a good place and I thought, I don't like this. And I went back a year later and completely mass consumed it. So, you know, it really does, where you are in time can really depend whether or not you watch or finish or read something. So
yes. And Kathleen says ZA, Zodiac Academy. That makes sense to me, actually. That makes sense because that's such a hardcore bully romance. Yeah. Yeah. You haven't read that one yet? Zodiac Academy?
No, not yet. It's on my list for my flight. So
we got to get you in that one too. It's great. Yeah. And someone says Last Kingdom was so good. True Blood for me. I watched the first episode of True Blood and then went away from it for like a year and a half. And then I came back and now I'm a huge True Blood fan.
I did that with True Blood as well. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I did. And then when it got to the point where they started bringing in too many supernatural characters, I was like, oh, like when they started bringing in Fae and all that, that's where it lost me a little bit. So
yeah, there's a lot going on there. And it definitely took a huge turn from the book.
Yeah, I haven't read the books, so.
Oh yeah, they're not the same at all. They totally go I have read the books. Have you read the book, Kathleen, for Sookie Stackhouse? I bet Kathleen has read everything. Kathleen, she is, girl, I'm going to tell you because you're watching the live. So you get a little inside information, Kathleen. You are in the top 10 this month for the most active member. So you are in the running for one of the prizes, which I'm going to announce this weekend. And you know what the prizes are, don't you? I'm going to go ahead and announce that too, because for people who are watching, they should get to know. So we have, sorry, Angie, give me 1 second. So the author who's going to be sending a signed paperback. Are you ready, Kathleen? If you're excited, I want to see comments. I want to see comments that you're excited. Is Kennedy Sutton, the Sneaky Last.
Ooh.
So she's going to send a signed paperback to one of the, I got a drum roll, yay! She's going to sign paperback to one of the winners, and then she's going to send 3 ebooks. So we have 4 winners out of the top 10. And Kathleen, you are in the top 10. So good luck.
That's awesome.
I just got excited.
That's a great book, by the way.
Oh my gosh. I'm so in love. Of course she's read it. Kathleen's read it. Oh, Brianna, face. I love the Sneaky Lass. I feel like you and I are bouncing around everywhere, but I'm having a good time. So
it's good. It's a conversation.
Yeah. I was saying before we got on, I had absolutely 0 scripts. I just wing these things. So
it's a good way to do it.
Yeah. It's just because it's natural and organic or whatever. But so you did read the Sneaky Lass.
I did, yes. Yeah. And I loved it.
And you loved it.
Yeah. It sort of grabs you.
Oh, she's wait, can I repeat, start over. You cut out, but now you're back in. I'll tell you while she's fixing her volume. When is this being announced? I'm going to do a live this weekend. So I'll probably do a live. I always have a hard time announcing it ahead of time because it's literally one of those things where it's like, I'm going to go put on some makeup right now and do it. I'm so bad. I need to plan it better. But it'd probably be Saturday is what I'm thinking. Probably like Saturday in the afternoon. And then I'll like Saturday morning, maybe I'll tell you guys what time. I know I should be better than that. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. But yeah. All right. Go ahead, Angie. What were you saying?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So it does. It kind of grabs you as soon as you get in the book, and you're just kind of following along with that character, and you're along for the ride, and you don't really stop to think, oh, am I going to like this book? You're just there, and then you finish it, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I liked it. So.
I've been joking. This is someone says, "Can you do it tonight? Say the winners tonight." Kennedy already messaged me. She's like, "Girl, who are the winners?" And I'm like, "I don't have them yet, Kennedy," which is so sweet that she did that. Yes, it sneaks into your heart. The sneaky lass. That's what I've been saying. Yeah. Like you don't realize how much you fall into it, and it's all beautiful writing. Like it's beautiful, I think, from the beginning, but like. You know, it just creeps up on you, and then all of a sudden you realize you're absolutely in love with the book, you know, and then the end is, you know, but yeah. So
next book, please.
Yes, I can't wait for the next book is going to be out. It's this month. I think it's like August 10th or something. Book 2. It's anytime.
Oh, wow, that's soon. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. She's already written
up a notification. She's what? Sorry?
I said she's already
written. We must have a bit of a delay here.
Right, go ahead.
You go. It's all right. You go. I was just saying I've set up a notification, so it'll come through when it's out. I'll get notified.
Okay, yeah. So she's written all 8 books already. She wrote all 8 books before she published the first one. You know, she's one of those that does that. So
great way to do it. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, because then you I guess I don't know. I'm not an author, but I'm assuming that helps a lot with, you know, plotting everything else. Speaking of, Dark Secrets blows my mind, Angie, because it's like whenever you say, "Oh no, I wasn't up on a whiteboard. I didn't have it all plotted out." Like you flew kind of by the seat of your pants a little bit, right? Just a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. But
a lot of plot threads. Yeah.
Because like for anyone, go ahead.
Oh, I think we've got a delay. So like when one of us talks, it's delaying for a second.
Go ahead.
I actually had to spend a lot of hours in a dark room listening to Muse with a pillow over my face to try and figure out these plot threads because they are really twisted and interwoven. Like stuff from the first book is relevant in like the 9th book. So yeah, and it'll be one of those, oh my God, how did she do that? And it was all, I don't know how I did it. So
yeah. So because I had assumed that you had all 15 books plotted out, like exactly what you wanted to do with every single facet. And then you started writing because the only reason why I wouldn't normally just assume that for an author, but because if you guys have not read Dark Secrets, the plot is freaking insane. The twists are freaking insane. I make comments that it's like you are, you're peeling layers of an onion with every single book. And then you get to the very end and you found out you were eating an orange. It's so like, I mean, even in the last book, I think we were learning things about the first book. Like you just put these little nuggets in throughout it's unbelievable. I've never read a series that has so many twists and turns. Never, ever.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think I'll ever be able to write another series that has that many twists and turns.
It's crazy, you know? And then like the other thing too is how do you feel? Let's be honest here. Well, we're always honest. How do you feel whenever you hear me do my whole spiel about book 1 for Dark Secrets? I know you know my spiel about book 1 for Dark Secrets.
Which aspect of it? Because there's a lot of different aspects.
Okay, go ahead. Say it again.
Which aspect of the spiel?
The spiel where get to the masquerade ball.
Oh yeah. About Jason.
Yeah. I mean, you're always cool with me saying that, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I'm always cool with people saying anything like, But that's when you say that's the point where it, you know, it's a bit slow up until that point, and then that's where it really takes off.
That's where it takes off. It's not that it's slow. It's that it feels up until the masquerade ball, in my opinion. And Brianna, chime in, girl, because I know you've read this series. I think you're reading it again right now. I think she's reading it. How many times have you read it now, Brianna. I saw a post in your group or a comment saying she was rereading the whole thing again. So, which is just like awesome. But
Yeah.
for me, the first book feels a lot like a Twilight or a Vampire Diaries. It feels it's YA. It's, you know, Ara comes over from Australia. She moves in with her dad. She goes to high school. She meets David. He's handsome. You know, she thinks that, you know, that he couldn't possibly be interested in her because, you know, she's not as secure and he's gorgeous and all that kind of stuff, right?
That whole typical, you know.
Yeah, that whole like, you know, so it definitely has some strong, oh, she said she's read it so many times now, Dark Secrets. Has some strong, you know, like Twilight kind of vibes, right? And I know
definitely.
like compare you to Twilight, right? Because it's not Twilight.
Yeah, it's quite different, but yeah, it was written for
really
Twilight fans. So
say again?
Originally. It was originally written for Twilight fans. So people who really loved that element, those elements of Twilight, that development of the relationship. I wanted more of that when I read Twilight. So I was like, I'm going to write something where it's got more of a relationship development going on. So yeah.
And you did. So up until the masquerade ball, that's really kind of the line in the sand moment for me. And that's actually quite far into book one. I mean, book one is how many pages? It's like 600 pages.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
And I think the masquerade ball is like around 400, 450.
Yeah.
It's like 80 something % into the book.
Yeah.
You know? But it's really, you're really laying that foundation like up into the masquerade of those relationships and the meeting. And like I said, like later on books down the line, you start to realize there's a lot of stuff going on in that time that you don't know about, you know, as you're reading.
Like David being at the high school to begin with, like what's a 100-year-old vampire doing at a high school? And at first you think, oh, he's just going back to high school, but no, there's a reason why he's there. So we find out later, much later in the series. So.
And a big reason, like it's like everything, and you know, so like, but then once the masquerade ball happens, it's like it goes off the rails. It gets into this like, it gets dark, and I really think like you start shining with what you're really good at, which is the emotion, the darkness, the plot, you know, the plot twists, the turns, the shock factor, you know.
Torture.
Yeah. And when I was reading book one, because I just wasn't in the mood at the time for a YA type book when I read the first book. But I had a girlfriend telling me, trust me. She's like, keep reading. Because I could tell you could write. I'm like, okay, she can write. I'm just not really in the mood for a teeny bopper kind of series. Yeah. And then boom, that happened. And I was like, oh, man, this is crazy. And then that was
definitely not for teenagers,
No.
Like, a lot of people think because it starts in the high school and because there's no sex in the first book that it's for teenagers, but Ara's 17 in the book. So it felt really wrong to have a sex scene with a 17-year-old, you know, so I kept that until she was 18. So because originally, you know, that one where they're in the forest and they're doing the blood sharing. I don't know if that's probably not a spoiler. That was going to be a sex scene. And then I was like, she's 17 years old. That's just icky. So yeah, that was changed and it was, you know, moved to 18. So yeah.
That's And I'm with you on that. I don't really like to read young. Yeah, no.
You're wrong.
I don't, you know, being a 42-year-old woman, it's not for me.
Yeah. I think if anyone wants to read a 17-year-old having sex, it's probably something wrong with that, you know, because they're under the age of consent. So
okay, moving on. But I get that. So yeah, like and you know, it's so funny too, because in the group we hear a lot of people talk about Zodiac Academy. And I can't wait for you to read Zodiac Academy. I'm really excited about it. But Zodiac Academy is very emotional as well. Like it pulls your heartstrings as well. Like they call them the Twisted Sisters for a reason, right? Because like you get so invested in these characters, and then like the rug comes out from underneath you, kind of thing. But that being said, I think Dark Secrets takes the emotional cake, man. It's your forte, girl. You just, and someone made a joke about you ripping hearts out. Yeah, Angie loves ripping readers' hearts out.
I do.
You do.
I have a jar where I keep them all. So
yeah, you do. And then Kathleen says if they're both young, that's one thing, but with age difference, no.
Yeah.
I
suppose. Yeah. And see, David's 120 years old, so ugh.
That's a fair point. But man, speaking of ripping your heart out, In Another Life.
Yeah, that was a hard book to write. And even when I go back and read it, it's a hard book to read. Brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. David, I think I would not want him to date my daughter if I had a daughter. I think he's really controlling and really abusive. And I know that a lot of people kind of like that in a book character, not in a real man. But, you know, even I like to read that sort of thing in a book character. But
yeah.
I really felt like if young women are reading this book, are they going to take a bad example from Ara and stay in bad relationships? And so with In Another Life, I really wanted to highlight just how bad that kind of abuse is that Ara's actually suffering. And yeah, so I went real deep in that one, really, really deep. And that was horrendously, yeah. It's one of those books people find it hard to get through because it's so brutal. So
it was bad. I was Brianna, I'm sure you can probably say the same thing with crying during that book, but I was on my patio reading the third one. And even now it gets me all teared up. I was sobbing my eyes out, and I had to put the book down, get tissues, which, okay, to be fair, you normally would if you are sobbing your eyes out. But then I said, nope, I'm going to walk to the gas station and get a bottle of wine. And I was sobbing. I went to the gas station as a mess, and I went and bought a bottle of red wine, came home, popped it open, went out the patio, got my big glass of wine, and just cried and kept reading it, man. It was
it's really brutal.
Girl, you killed me with it.
Yeah.
So,
and people probably don't realize you actually don't have to have read Dark Secrets to read In Another Life. You can read it first. So
say that again. I'm sorry, you cut out again for some reason.
Okay, yeah. You can actually read In Another Life before you read Dark Secrets if you want to. So it's almost like a new series. So you don't have to have read Dark Secrets first.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. I like reading it in the order that you have it, though.
Yeah.
Like the recommended order, right?
Yeah.
The perfect reading order. Isn't that what you call it?
Yes. But it's an interesting, I think, scientific study. I would love to speak to someone who read In Another Life before they've read Dark Secrets and see what their opinion is of David and Jason, see if it changes, because I don't think we've had people do that yet, where they've read that one and then read Dark Secrets. But it would be like, because I love psychology, I love science, so it would be really interesting to have a discussion with someone after they've done that. So, yeah.
Oh, you cut out for a bit in there. Is it me, guys? Is she cutting out for you too, Brianna and Kathleen? Or is it just me?
It's cut out again. My volume's gone. Oh.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, now I can. Yep. Yeah.
My mic just muted. Oh my God. What is going on, people? StreamYard. Goodness gracious. No, I actually really like StreamYard. I like the format with the people and that you could put a picture in the background. I think it's quite cool as long as it works. Okay, yay. Thanks. You can hear me now. Okay. Sorry. Can you repeat what you just said, Angie? I'm so sorry if you can remember, because I missed it.
What I just said.
You were talking about people hadn't read, and if they read In Another Life first, you haven't had anyone do that, but it would be interesting because
it would be a really interesting psychological study, I think, to see how people, because over the sort of 14, 15 years that I've been doing this with Dark Secrets, I take people's comments and their views and opinions on it, and I kind of analyze everything, and that helps me tweak my books to know how to mess with people even better. So it would be interesting to speak to someone who's read In Another Life before they've read Dark Secrets and see what their opinions are then, and which characters they fall for in Dark Secrets, because people get so into David because he's the first, I suppose, the first character we are introduced to, and because we hate Jason in the first book. But if they read a different version of that first, I would love to see, how they are in the main series. That would be really interesting.
Oh, you might have a volunteer. Kathleen says she can read it first. She's only read a little bit of Dark Secrets.
So yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, that would be really cool. And to do like even maybe set up a live chat after that and do that. That would be really awesome.
Okay. All right. We should do it for sure. Kathleen, if you're not in Angie's Facebook group, you should join, because that could be a possibility to do it there too.
Yeah, and I'll send you, if you don't already have it, I'll send you the box set of all the books, all 15 books.
You're going to send it to Kathleen?
Yeah.
Kathleen, did you just hear that? She's going to send you the box set of all 15 books. I feel like this might be your lucky month, Kathleen. Oh my gosh. And someone just came on before it ended. I don't know who. Tell us who you are, because we can't see your name. Oh, she has it. She says she has the box set. Oh,
okay, cool. All right.
Cool. All right, so let's talk about, I know we're talking for a while here, but I'm having a good time. And so people will just come and go, if they can't stay for the whole thing. Evernight Fae. We got to talk about Evernight Fae.
Yeah.
So first, did you rename it? Did you give it
so the actual series title hasn't been changed, but the what are they called? Like the titles of each book have been changed.
Since the last time you did it, or just
I think it was maybe book 4 was out. I can't remember where we were at when those got changed, but it was a market research thing. So they were, because the first book was If These Wings Could Fly, and it wasn't landing well with the right readership. So it was sort of landing more among like 9-year-olds, which it's not designed for. So yeah. So the title's got to change. It got rebranded, and
okay. I think I knew about that, but I swear I heard, or maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I saw someone write something about Darkest Fae or Dark Fae, or I don't know. I thought maybe actually the series changed, but
that might be the box set. So the box set has a different title to all of it, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, because someone wrote a post in the group saying they were reading your series, your Fae series, and the name of the series, I was like, that's not the name, but maybe she's changed it and I didn't know.
Yeah, they must have grabbed the box set, because it does have it's something like Dark Fae or something, the Dark Fae something box set it's called. So that's kind of the title of the box set, but I can't think exactly. I should know what it was, but I'm terrible, so I can't think exactly what it was, but yeah.
Okay, all right. And then sorry, just Holly. Hey Holly, you came on and said hi, but yeah, you made it. And someone says they felt terrible for how do you say his name? I can't say
Elias.
it.
Elias. Yes.
Eli. I just say Eli.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can't
or Elias.
Spoiler.
I actually wish I could have put Elias with Ara, because I think they were a really good match, but the David fans would have killed me. So would the Jace fans. So
girl, you know what I want so bad is I want Drake and Eli, and I want a new FMC, and I want a Love Corner. That's what I want.
Yeah. It can be done.
So
but, it would take a lot.
It would take, I know it would.
It would take a lot, because I have to dig through and make sure I don't ruin any of the old plots by putting something new in there, and undoing it all. So yeah,
I don't know, maybe there's like some magical way we can come up with that, like something happens and everything gets washed away. I don't know, I'm not but if anybody can do it,
I definitely can do it. It can be done. I did also, because you were saying you wanted a crossover between
Evernight Fae. Yeah.
But I actually did find a way to do a crossover. So because there's that
in your new books, there's a crossover in your new books?
No, there's not yet, but I found I've plotted out I suppose a standalone aura series with one of the characters from Dark Secrets who Aubrey meets in the underworld. So with him and his connection to the Evernight Fae world. So that can be a good crossover.
I love crossovers. I was really surprised when you did that post asking everybody, and like most people said no. I was like, guys, crossovers are the thing, man. Look at ACOTAR and Crescent City, and I haven't even read it yet, but I've already heard about it. There's a crossover. Like,
I
it's just
think
so cool. I don't know.
People are getting more accepting of things like a multiverse, I think. So it's sort of, it's easier to do crossovers if you can include a multiverse. So yeah, I think that's where it would sit with this one. So Marvel has helped with that a lot.
I just think it'd be like a mind-blowing thing. Like you're reading Evernight Fae, and then all of a sudden this scene happens, and then you see a character that's from Dark Secrets, and you're just like, wait a minute, they're in the same world? You know, like I don't know. I mean, as long as it makes sense, right, plot-wise.
Yeah. That's right.
That's cool.
That's,
so Evernight Fae, your last 2 books just came out. When did they come out?
I don't know. I'm terrible. A couple of months ago, I think. Yeah.
Oh, so we got someone asking what the posters are on the wall, and someone's off to Amazon to get the box set.
Excellent.
Brandon. All right, we won't tell Brandon. Brandon, someone's getting the box set. I'm silly. Anyways, what's your posters?
Posters, yeah, that's they're a bit. I think they're coming up backward in the. Oh no, they're not actually. So I'm actually setting up my office space as kind of a witch's apothecary type thing, and this is the start of my posters.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so it's not quite set up yet. I've only got this little corner set up, but it's going to have shelves with potion rules and like masks and everything. It's going to look really cool, so that I'm kind of going to sort of immerse myself into a world of like witches and that sort of thing. So I'm setting this room up to theme my next writing venture. So yeah.
Well, and then you're going to be in Florida in October.
Yep.
I know someone's house that has a very spooky front yard in October.
Okay. I'll have to go check it out.
It's mine. You got to come see mine.
Yours is going to be epic. So I'm definitely going to drive past and have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll get you hopefully that gets you in some writing mode.
Yeah.
You're doing that with your office. That's super cool. Oh, Holly fixed it so we can see her name. Yay. And
we can see it.
Kara says she's excited for, I guess, I don't know what she's excited for. I might have missed it. So Kathleen wants to know what's coming next on, so that's what I was starting to talk about was Evernight Fae. You had the 2 books that just came out. They're the final books in the series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and we lost volume again there.
Oh no, man.
Yeah, it's back again. It was just a glitch. And I think it's every time my phone goes off, something happens. So yeah.
Oh, it might be interfering. Yeah, it's possible.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, so what's next?
For what?
For you. For writing.
With the book. Yeah, so it'll be something witchy. I had started, anyone in my group will have read, I think everyone in my group will have read a story I was working on called Absinthe. And that was a kind of witchy devil type thing. And I stopped writing it because I just couldn't get it to do what I wanted it to do. It just wasn't going where I wanted it to go. So I actually shelved that one. And I think that was like 5 years ago, even now. I think that was a long time ago. So I'm going to bring that one back in and probably work on that one, I think. So, because I'm a little bit dorky in the sense that I like signs from the universe on things. And I was thinking about what should I write next? What should I do when I was putting up these posters? And then I think it was this one. It's got the bottle of absinthe there. And I was like, oh, that reminds me of my series. So yeah, I'm probably going to bring that one back and do that one next.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah. It's dealings with the devil, basically. So, and I swore I was going to get away from vampires, no more vampires, but I somehow managed to end up making it about vampires again, but very different vampires to anything else that's written out there. So yeah.
Why did you swear to get away from vampires? Just because you've done so much?
Yeah, I didn't want to be branded as a vampire writer because, and unfortunately, like Dark Secrets was meant to be about the human experience, not about the vampires, and it ended up being about the vampires. And Evernight Fae was meant to be Fae only, no vampires, and then I have vampire fairies in it. So I keep bringing vampires into everything, and I'm like, stop it. So, when I did that with Absinthe, I was like, no, you need to stop writing because, stop bringing vampires into everything. So.
Yeah, but like if you love it and you're led to do it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, right? Like I think do what you love, right? And then things work out. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just going to have to accept that I'm kind of going to be a vampire writer, and that's what I am now.
Okay, no big deal. And really, said vampires are awesome. So
yes,
there you go.
they
And
very much so.
And it's either Kara or Kara. I don't know how to pronounce your name, girl. But she says, talking about Dark Secret, she's going to put it on her TBR. Yes, for sure. It's the masquerade ball.
Just get through to that. And the thing is that everything at the start of Dark Secrets seems like it's like there's no point for it being there, but it comes into the books. It comes into it later on. So there's a point for it all, like every little tiny detail.
Right. That's right.
Pay close attention.
Yes, and you'll find because it is the most twists, and Evernight Faye has some twists too. It does.
Yeah,
it's got some emotion too. It's a good love corner. I bounced around between liking each of the guys and wanting her to end up with each of them. So yeah, I haven't read the last two books. Go ahead.
Yeah. You'll like those.
Yeah, I haven't. I've got to. So tell everyone about what I've already. Like my brain is already farting. Sorry, that sounds probably horrible. But like what you did to help people refresh their memory before they pick up the last two books.
Yeah, I just did a Facebook post, I think it was, and just kind of took out scenes from the previous books and was like, well, if you remember these details about the books, you'll be fine for 8 and 9. So you don't need to go back and reread all the other books. So yeah, it makes it easier. Just that post is in my group, I think, so you can go in there and look it up.
And are you still going to do the giveaway? Are you still going to do the giveaway at 2,000 members?
Yeah. Except the bonus of it now is that all 9 books are out, so you'll get all 9 books straight away. So yeah.
So once she gets 2,000, she's going to do the free box set of all of Evernight Faye. Yeah. And that's a good one to read right now because it's, it's like fairies. It's fairy themed, right?
Yes.
And it feels like summer.
It's fairies, I think. It's fairies done right. Because I've read too many fairy books where the wings don't fly or there's no actual magic, or they just forget that they have magic and they forget they have wings. So, I think we've lost.
Oh man, I probably heard what you said, but it cut out for me. I heard a little bit at the end. I don't know what is going on with the volume. Why is I wonder who's doing that? It's so weird. Like, because it was fine most of the call until the last, 20 minutes. So, okay. So Kara is saying what an emotional ride Evernight Faye was. And she's also the one that just said she has to put Dark Secrets on her TBR. So she read your Evernight Faye series first. That's a switch, right?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Most people find you through Dark Secrets and then they read Evernight Faye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting the other way around. And yes, Brianna, you should do a live about your DSS experience. That would be all really awesome. I'd definitely watch that. For sure.
And then Kathleen is saying her TBR is so long. No, it's not. Your TBR is not so long. Yes, it is. I know it. Mine is so long. How long is your TBR, Angie?
I don't even know. I lost count after about 60. So it's probably not as long as other people's, but I'm very selective as well. So
that's a lot. 60 is a lot. Yeah. I don't even know. I have, I do all of my, how do you organize your TBR? Like, I don't know, how do you keep your lists?
I have a notes folder on my phone and I write them down. So.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. I don't actually. Say again.
Sorry, I'll say I don't cross them off after I've read them either. So it just stays. They just stay there because I'm terrible at maintaining it. So
I use Amazon lists to do it. So I create Amazon lists and then I move books in and out. So like I've got a TBR list and then I had to create a legit TBR. It's literally called legit TBR because the TBR is so full now. I'm like, okay, now I need to start narrowing this down. Like, which ones am I really going to read like in the next few weeks? And then I switch them over to legit TBR. So
Yeah.
And then I've got a
I've got a
DM
second
with,
list.
say again?
Sorry, I think we've got a delay again. Yeah, I've got a second list, so my airplane reading list, which has got, you know, the Afterlife series and stuff on it as well. So it's a shorter list, and that's what I'm taking on the plane with me. So.
And how long of a flight is it when you come over here?
So it's 3 hours from Perth to Melbourne, and then Melbourne to San Francisco, I think is like 16 hours, and then a 6-hour flight from San Fran to Florida through Orlando. So yeah, it's going to be painful.
That is so painful. I went to Australia. I think I told you this. I went to Australia for one summer.
Yeah.
And I went to Queensland. I went to the Queensland Zoo. I met Steve Irwin.
Oh, I wish I'd met him.
Yeah, it was cool. He was doing he was filming in his zoo. So I guess, you know, he, like on the TV show, a lot of times he films in a zoo, and the way they do it, you don't, not that he like tried to cover it up or anything, but like you just don't realize that he's filming in a zoo. But he also films out in the wild like, as well, right?
Yeah.
But he was filming in the koala exhibit. And and I watched him film, and it was the funniest thing because he was like, right, you see what this koala is doing up in this tree? Sorry, horrible accent. But anyway,
that was actually really good.
he said, just look at this. And then like the poor koala was just like high as a kite. Yeah. Like the little guy was just stoned, you know? And then he's like, look at it. And then the camera zooms in, and everyone's like, you know, watching the koala, and he's just like chewing the slave. I'll never forget it. It was the funniest thing ever. I laughed my butt off at that. To this day, I laugh really about that. And I've got a picture of me holding a koala, and they're heavy little guys, man.
They are, yeah, yeah. Did you get warned about drop bears when you came to Australia?
No, tell me about it.
Oh, I don't know whether I should, you know, uncover the Australian secret. I don't know if there's any other Aussies watching that know about drop bears, but they're kind of a joke that Aussies do on people who are visiting, on foreigners. So they tell you that they're a bit like koalas, but they've got sharper teeth. And as you're walking through bushes, they will drop out of trees and land on you to kill you, right? So they're really, really dangerous. And, you know, if you go onto Reddit and people are talking about drop bears there, you'll have people going there and saying, oh, drop bears are only an Australian joke. They're not actually real. And then you'll have Aussies jumping onto comment and say, actually, they are real and people getting killed. So don't tell people they're not real. But the truth is they're actually not real. But it's this long-running Australian joke, and every single Australian knows about this joke. So if you hear someone randomly on the street telling a foreigner about a drop bear, you'll walk past and go, yeah, got my uncle. He died from a drop bear landing on him. So be careful. But it's like this complete inside joke of all Aussies. So yeah, now you guys know it too. They're going to kick me out of Australia now for giving that away.
Yeah, you're totally booted. Sorry.
Thank you
for telling us. That's so funny. That's I was thinking maybe it's kind of like Sasquatch over here, but no, that's not the same thing. We don't make jokes about Sasquatches coming out, but there is, you know, it's a myth, right? It's like that there are Sasquatches, but you know, it's totally different. Yeah. So, that's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah,
I loved it. Australia was beautiful. I had a really good summer there. I went to Heron Island. And went swimming out on the reef. And
I want to see that.
Yeah, I got really
mostly dead now. So the reef, the Great Barrier. Yeah, climate change. So
and you can't touch it too, right? Like people are harming it, right? You can't if you touch it, it kills it. Yeah. But I'm scared of I'm scared of sharks. I'm scared of deep water. Like I won't go on a cruise ship. My family, like I live right next to Port Canaveral, and like 5 minutes away from Port Canaveral, and the Disney cruise liner goes out, and my whole family goes on reunions on cruise ships, and I won't go. You know, they're like, I'm like, my mom's watching, she's probably laughing. But you know, like I have this like when I was a teenager, my dad worked at the Space Center. He was a rocket scientist on the space shuttle program. Wow. And he showed me this image, a satellite image of the ocean. And there was like this, like, it was like this big ocean and this like little white dot on the ocean. And he's like, Rebecca, you know, what is that white dot? And I went, I don't know. And he goes, it's a cruise ship. And it made this impression,
Oh.
like the massive ocean and this little cruise ship. And at the same time, I watched the Titanic, had just came out in the movie theater. So I saw that. And then I've always had this fear of sharks because of this stupid Huey Lewis MTV video. Like, I don't know
really?
if the shark comes up from the water through the sand. And it freaked me out. So like that combination of stuff like freaks me out. So when your husband's father worked at NASA, Kathleen? That's cool. I did too. I worked in the program. I was third generation. My granddad worked out there as well before my dad. Anyways, so when I was on Heron Island, right, we went to the reef, and it was 4 p.m. and it was dark. And it started getting dark. I don't know why that was the time we went, but it was. And they dropped me off on the side of the reef, and I looked down on the ocean, and I looked to the right, and there's the reef, and it's, pretty, whatever. And I looked to the left, and it's just like pitch black, dark water, like forever.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, Jaws is gonna come get me. And I like vomited everywhere. I hyperventilated, and they had to pull me onto the boat.
Oh my God. Yeah, terrible experience.
Yeah, it wasn't like, now everybody knows Rebecca has a fear of deep water,
And in Australia, you should, because there are sharks out there, and they will, come and investigate. So it's scary.
And it's not fair of me to be scared of them because they don't like to eat humans. They don't like the taste of us, they think we're seals,
But they will bite you, so.
They'll bite you, and that's like, oh my gosh. So I didn't not.
And no one wants to be tasted. So.
What?
No one wants to be tasted. You don't want to be their curiosity stream. So.
Yeah, that's actually where it's kind of the same thing with gators, right? Because in Florida here we have gators, and you have crocodiles, Yeah. But I learned the difference between do you know the difference between a gator and a crocodile? I learned it from Steve Irwin, actually, when I was there at the zoo. Like I didn't know.
One will
go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying the difference is one will see you later, and one will see you in a while.
Oh, that's funny. That's cute.
That's terrible, I know.
No, it's fine. So I didn't know this. So so they told me this. They said that if you are if the gator or the crocodile is in the water and you're walking on the edge of the water, if you are 2 feet and under, a crocodile's like, not worth my time. But a gator is real interested if you're 2 feet and under. Right. If you're 2 feet and over, then a gator is scared and swims away. But a crocodile's like, yeah, that's just right. So the crocodiles like big, gators like small, and then gators get a lot of their energy from the sun, actually. That's why they're always sunbathing. So they don't eat very frequently, Gators are usually only a problem when they lose their fear of humans. I don't know if that's the case for crocodiles, but yeah.
I haven't been around many because I live in suburbia, so we don't have a crocodile problem here. It's probably more out bush and in Queensland area and stuff. So yeah, I don't ever want to come across one.
All right. Well, sorry. I mean, we kind of went off on, but it's just cool to talk to someone from Australia.
Yeah. It's different worlds. Yep.
Yeah, Kathleen, that's right. Gators get mad when people feed them. People think they're doing gators a service, but they're not. They're hurting them by feeding them because they lose the fear of humans. And then the fish and wildlife around here ends up having to kill them. It's very sad.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait to go see gators. When I come to Florida, that's one of the things I'm going to do. Definitely got to go to Gatorland and try and see some wild gators as well. I actually love gators. So.
You got to go on an airboat ride and see them.
I was going to, but then I saw a fail video where the airboat ride actually ended up in the water and they had to tow it out. And I was like, no.
Oh, yeah, there are a lot. Like at night on an airboat, they put a light out and then you see red eyes everywhere, because they're everywhere, the gators. There's a lot of them.
That would be scary.
It is scary. So I'm excited you're coming. So you're going to come. Where are you going when you travel over here? You said... I know you have got a few.
Just Orlando. We're going to go down to the Space Center as well and check that out. But yeah, we're just hanging around going to Disney and Universal. So we've lost volume again.
Yeah, I got you back though. I just heard you now.
Okay. Yep. Cool. Yeah, we're just going Orlando and doing Disney World parks.
Yeah. So you realize the Space Center is on Merritt Island. That's where I live.
Yeah, we've when Mike and I went there in 2017, we drove down there because we went to the Muse and 30 Seconds to Mars concert, where 30 Seconds to Mars played support for Muse, and that was sort of down. I think we had to drive down that way to go to it. So yeah, we went and just drove past the Space Center. But yeah, we're going to take the kids down there and actually go in this time.
Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. Cool. We'll have to talk about that before you go. There's definitely the Saturn V complex is really cool to go check out at the Space Center here.
Yeah.
So cool. Awesome. Well, I'm excited. You'll have to come and see my Halloween display because it's going to be October for sure. We'll have to meet up.
Definitely. Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have been
to see it in person.
I can't wait to see it in person. We'll have to plan to go out and get a drink or something too, or something to eat.
Yeah. And I'll put out a post to anyone that's in the area if they want to come out and get drinks and have fun.
That's a great idea. That's a really good idea, actually. Yeah. I mean, I know like Marie Jones, she's a mod. She lives in Central Florida, so she would probably definitely come up and meet with you. I know there's, all of us. Kathleen, you're in Florida, right? No, you're in New York. Kathleen's in New York. I can't remember who else is in Florida I've been talking to. But anyways, yeah, that sounds good. We should definitely do it for sure. So we've been talking forever, girl, but it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah. It's easy, isn't it, just to have a conversation?
Then why I thought you were in New York, Kathleen. That's weird. Is it on your Facebook profile? Does it say you're in New York? I swear I saw that you were in like, what part of New York? I can't remember. Perk, New York? Perth? No, you're in Perth. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, girl, thank you for coming on and celebrating with me and talking to me. I didn't mean to talk so long.
It's good. I mean, we haven't talked much about the group really, but yeah.
I felt kind of bad. We did the first 20 minutes we did, and then I felt bad. I felt like I was just talking too much about myself in the group. So I know.
That's what we're here for. Talk about this amazing group, the amazing creator. Like if it weren't for you, we wouldn't all be here. So it's as much as your birthday as well as the group's birthday. So it's the best book group out there, and I love it. It's a great group, great people in it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like we started talking about it, and then I just felt like I was talking too much. I don't know why. Like I knew that was the whole goal of this. Like was to talk. Yeah. It's like I feel kind of like I'm just like I don't know bragging or something. I don't know, but I am really excited.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
I think there's a difference between bragging and discussing something.
It's cool.
We've lost volume again there.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm back. I was just saying that I've been on cloud 9 all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for like the people who hung on this whole time. We didn't mean to make, stay on so long and make you guys feel like you needed, but thank you for coming on and talking and commenting with us. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, girl. Well, I am going to go to I'm going to your group tonight and I'm finding that post.
Yeah.
That gives me the recap because I need it for Evernight. And and I'm going to read 8 and 9. Or no, yes, 8 and 9. This book's 8 and 9, right?
Yeah, it is 8 and 9. Yeah. Yeah. And if you get to a bit in it and you're like, oh, I don't remember what this was about, you can always message me and be like, what was this about? And then I can find you the reference to it. And
I might do that. I might do that because 8 and 9 are kind of different characters, right? Like you still have the main characters in there, but you have new characters, and it's kind of more about them, right? 8 and 9?
It is definitely about the main characters, but in order to continue their story, we have to go to these new characters because that affects their story. So that's what tips the domino over for Cami and Eric, is what happens with the other two characters is what makes what happens with them happen, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought for sure when you came out saying you were writing more books, I thought you were going to switch the guy on us.
Ah, right.
I really thought, I don't know, maybe you do. So don't tell me. I don't know. I hate spoilers, but I thought for sure you were going to switch it up. And I was like,
you never know.
I don't know. I have mixed. You know, oh wait, I gotta say this. I gotta say this before you go. Girl, we gotta get you writing RHs. We gotta get you writing an RH. You would be amazing at an RH.
Yeah, I'd have to probably read some first because I don't think I've read any yet. I know I've got some recommendations on my list, but I haven't actually read them yet. So I'd have to see how other people are doing it and get an idea of what people want and stuff. And then, yeah, probably look into doing that.
I
could
would
definitely do that.
I would love it. And I do have to say that not all RHs are the same. Like it is possible to pick up an RH and have a negative experience with it and then not be an RH fan. And I think a lot of times when people are in the group and they're doing a rec and they're like, no RH, please. I think they may have had a bad experience personally.
Okay.
That's just my
Maybe we should
2 cents.
Probably get like a group of people together from the group who haven't read RHs or who don't like them. And we all do like we all start reading at the same time of one that's really highly recommended. And then we can all, kind of plot our progress as we go. That could be really fun, like a group reading activity type thing.
Oh, that could be a good idea. We could do a StreamYard for it. We could throw a couple people on a StreamYard. Anyone who's interested. I should do that. Like so far we have StreamYards for like the one I did with you, which is one author that I've read. We talk about their book for like an hour or longer like this, and then I do the one with the 3 authors, and Kathleen has been the bomb. She's been watching the StreamYards with the 3 authors, and then she's been reading every book from the new authors. Yeah. Cause she reads tons. I mean, she reads Kathleen. I don't know if you read more than Amy or Amy reads more than you, Amy Reynolds, but the 2 of you is insane how much you guys read.
That's awesome.
So anyways, I did the StreamYards for the 3 authors for the author spotlight. And then I do random ones like this, right? One with Stephanie Hudson and then this one. So I'm not opposed to if there's group members that are interested in doing it. We can do up to 5 people on a StreamYard without it looking too cluttery. So maybe
really fun.
It could be fun. Yeah. And talk about an RH and have a conversation about it and talk about what we like about them, what we don't like about them. I also think that might be good for authors to see, people's feedback.
Yeah. Authors love watching and reading things like that where readers talk about what they want and what they don't want, because that's valuable information. So,
very valuable. Yeah. And like I read several RHs and I was not a fan. And I was one of those people that would do a post and say, no RH, please. So I get it. I get it. But then I stumbled upon Cupidity by Raven Kennedy, and it's so good.
Raven Kennedy's great. Yeah.
Raven Kennedy is so talented. I love her. And I love her TikToks too. Have you ever watched any of her book talks?
No, I don't really go on TikTok. I'm terrible. I should get on it more, but yeah, I will. I'll go and watch some. I think we've lost volume again.
Yeah, it's me. It just muted me. Can you hear me now? I know you're on TikTok, but we gotta like book talk is where
I need to get more active. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's just
Kathleen's just said she's read 400 books this year, more than 400 this year.
Oh wow, girl, she reads a lot. Like I swear she reads a book every day or every 2 days. Is that right?
Yeah, that'd have to be like 2 books a day or something.
Yeah, like on weekends she's probably reading like 2 books in a day or something crazy.
Yeah, wow.
Kara, girl, tell me how to pronounce your name so I don't keep pronouncing it wrong. Kara.
She said at the top it's Kara, I think. Kara.
I'm horrible with name pronunciations. Yeah. Kathleen says she read 4 yesterday. Oh my gosh. Wow.
My Lord, I could not do that.
No, I love that about you.
No, that's good.
Tired of that work? I wish I could read that much. Okay. Yeah. So Laura says she's never read an RH. She's kind of afraid. I don't know why. Yeah, I can get that. I understand that a little bit.
Yeah.
I do get that. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Here's my theory. My theory for the people who aren't into RHs, only because this was my experience, is you start reading this book and the plot line is great and you're like really into it. It's super interesting. And then by the halfway point in the book, all of a sudden there's 4 dudes and everyone's having sex. And then like from 50% into the book to the end of the book, it's just constant sex. And the plot line goes like down the drain. That has been my experience with RHs that I haven't enjoyed. And I think, and there are ones out there like that, but there's also the ones I've noticed that I really love are the slow burn ones. Those are the ones I've been recommending to you. They don't, it happens slowly over time, over several books. And then the plot line stays prevalent. Like it's the non-romantic plot line, you know, that's my 2 cents anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds like the best. I hate it when the plot line gets lost in all the sex scenes and you're just like, well, why am I reading this now? You know, I can go and watch a porn if I want that, you know, so.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like I think, I mean, there are definitely some people that love that amount of steam and there's nothing wrong with that. Like we don't do like,
of course,
nothing wrong with that. But I think that's the, you know, that's the general like complaints to like people will say, like you'll hear this a lot. And I've started like being really careful how I just did it a second ago. You'll hear people say a lot like, can we just have a, you know, I'm looking for a book that has maybe some spice, but I want to have a plot line. Like I want to have a book with a plot line. I want to have more plot line. And I've had to start saying things like, well, really romance is a plot line, right? It's just a romantic plot line. You know, it's so
internal
like
rather than an external plot line.
Yeah. Like I ran into, what's a good one for an RH virgin? Cupidity by Raven Kennedy. That's the one. Cupidity by Raven. It's hysterical. I would recommend Cupidity by Raven Kennedy. I would recommend, if you can handle M on M, just a little bit, I'd recommend Psycho Shifters by Jasmine Mass. I freaking love that book. And then Broken Bonds by Jay Bree. Those are, and Forbidden Honor by Mae Dawson. Those are the ones I would recommend. Okay. Anyways, going on my TBR. Okay. What was I saying? Angie, I forgot. Like in the middle of all that. I don't remember what I was saying right before that. Do you remember?
Plot lines and sex scenes.
Yeah. Okay. So when I was, so I see this a lot in another Facebook group I'm in. It's a urban fantasy Facebook group, book lover group. And like you'll do a post, I'll do a post saying, hey, I'm looking for whatever. And you'll see people say, they'll make comments that they're not fans of romance and urban fantasy. And that, you know, that if this book has lots of romance, then it doesn't have a plot line. They'll insinuate that. And it's always kind of irks me, man, because like when people say stuff like that, it's like they're negating the entire romance genre. Like there's a whole genre out there. Like the number one genre, actually, I think I looked it up recently. The number one genre is romance. Like that's, you know, so I've started saying a romantic plot line and a non-romantic plot line. That's been my language lately.
Yeah. Good way to describe it. But even Star Wars has romance in it, you know, and you point that out to guys who are like, I don't like romance. They're like, well, do you like Star Wars? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, well, that has romance. And then they're really insulted. They're like, it does not have romance. But
it does have romance in it. It's, I mean, like 4, 5, and 6 is all about Hans and Leia, you know, and then episodes 1, 2, and 3 is Darth Vader, you know, and Natalie Portman, whatever her character name is, I'm forgetting.
Padme,
yes. You know, and then the more recent ones, what about the more recent ones? The more recent ones, I don't know. I don't, other than what is hot, the Dark Prince guy. I don't know why. Like he's not like your normal, typical, good-looking guy, but there's something about him. Maybe because he's
he's unusual. Yeah,
unusual. Yeah.
Kind
of. I don't know.
Anyway, left of center, but still good.
Yeah, I did my last welcome post. I did him as a GIF actually. Someone recommended him, the Dark Space Prince or something. I don't know, and I used him for the welcome post GIF. Which let me tell you, we're getting like, I love it, but we're getting like 300 people every 2 days right now. And I am struggling trying to find welcome gifts. Like it's, and when people like look up on their phone and find a GIF, it's different than what I can do for the welcome post. Facebook will only let me do the welcome post from a computer. And when I'm on a computer, I can't find the sexy GIFs. I'll type in whatever. Like there's a really awesome GIF with Jason from True Blood, and he is almost naked, and he's standing behind a door, and he's showing off his chest. It's great. I want to do it for a welcome post.
You can download them from the internet onto your computer, and then just do a photo upload instead of a GIF when you do the post.
I tried that. When I do anything other than using the GIF feature Facebook has,
Yeah.
it untags the people.
Oh, how annoying.
Yeah.
What if you upload the GIF before you tag all the people? Although I suppose you can't because of the way those posts are done. Yeah, it doesn't work.
You click the welcome post, it comes up with all the tags already.
Yeah.
And if you browse for a video on anything on your computer, if you browse for anything on your computer, it doesn't send out the tags.
How
it's
annoying.
Really a bug in Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook needs to fix that.
So I have to actually just pick the GIF, So
yeah, that really sucks.
Anyone who's watching, I don't tag 300 people separately. So I'll get people on there, they'll say, oh, that's so nice that you could do that with 300 people. And it's like, Facebook puts that together for me. But I have done it once. One time, the 300 tags didn't go through because of that reason. And I was just really anal about it. And I actually, over a course of several days, I went back and started tagging, like I did 100 people at a time. It's a lot of work.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. Yeah. That's dedication. That's probably why the group is so amazing, is that kind of dedication,
Okay, and then I used to, on all the welcome posts, I made it my mission to reply back to every comment. It was my mission. And I can't do it anymore. I'm just loving them. I'm loving them all. I mean, if someone says something really unique, then I'll say something back. And I feel bad, but there's just
22,000 members now. Yeah, that's hard.
It's gotten so big. I'm just really lucky. I have moderators are key, man. Moderators are so key.
Yeah.
And the other thing,
got some good mods too. They're a good team.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you really do.
They bring a lot to the table.
We share 2 of the same mods.
Yeah. Yep.
How funny is that?
Yep.
Yeah. The mods really, they're such a difference. They make such a, and the other thing I'm trying to do, and I know we're trying to wrap up here. The other thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get people to report to group admins.
Yeah.
That's something I should have talked about like at the beginning. I need to probably start talking about that on every video, because for some reason, somebody out there in the Facebook world, and so many groups are this way, they have told people not to report to group admins because it gets them in trouble with Facebook. That is a myth. That is not true. Okay. Yeah. Reporting to Facebook gets you in trouble with Facebook.
Yeah.
Reporting to group admins, Facebook loves it, because what happens is all the moderators get a notification. Facebook doesn't get one. And then we immediately take care of the issue. And then it never even gets raised to Facebook's attention. So like I'm still a moderator for that fasting group. Do you remember? I told you a lot. Yeah. There's like 145,000 people in the group. We get reported comments and posts every 60 seconds. Like,
oh, wow.
Them constantly. The activity in that group is, yes, Kathleen, you've reported before. Thank you. The activity in that group is off the charts, and we have never been penalized, and it's constantly growing, this group.
Yeah.
Crazy. So it doesn't, whoever spread that rumor out there, it is not true. It actually helps a group for people to report. It doesn't harm it. And it helps the, sorry, I'm going to be off my soapbox in a second. Poor you. You have to really go about this since we're talking about it. It helps the moderators out immensely, because the thing is that I have lost moderators because it's so stressful to be a moderator. And even though I say, hey, don't get stressed, like just do what you can do, people become a moderator and they feel like this whole like weight on their shoulders, that they have to go and like monitor the group all the time, and like everything's relying on them, and it gets very, very, very overwhelming. So if people are reporting things and we can start relying on the members, then that means the moderators can just enjoy the group as a regular member. We get a notification and we take care of things, when they come in, or we take care of things when we're just enjoying it as a member. Like we're not like, spending hours every day scrolling the group, looking at every comment,
Yeah. It's good when they need to do, like, Facebook should have a badge for people who are almost like moderators, helpers. When they see a comment, they let the moderator know if it's something that shouldn't be on there. Like they should get a little badge, like I'm a helper sort of thing.
Yeah. That's like, and then for us, because we have such a high standard with the positivity, it just helps out so much. If people see negative comments or DNF comments, it's just like, I've gotten the point now when people report, I send them a message and I thank them. Like, it's so rare now. I mean, we maybe get 5 reported things in a week or something, like, and I know we have more than that.
Yeah.
It's just people are scared
Yeah.
to report, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways,
Mind
all
you, I
right,
haven't
girl.
seen anything yet. Like,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just saying I haven't seen anything on the group that's negative really. Like I've been lucky I haven't scrolled past anything negative anywhere, because that's just, yeah. So I'm just assuming it's that the group is just really positive and no one puts anything negative. So I don't know.
People have learned. I think for sure people have learned. I think people are catching on. It's the new members typically that would break the rule. I also
just not me.
I have a few moderators that are like very active, and they're on top. They are on top. I mean, they're in there more than me on top of it, you know. So that helps too, and that hopefully that gets to it before, you know, everyone else sees it. So
yeah.
Well, it's good that you have it. Let me know if you do. Report it if you do.
I will. Yes, I definitely will.
And that's the other thing too, is like people will send me a message and they'll be like, hey, there's this comment. I think it's kind of bad. But like, I might not see the message for 3 hours, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas if it's reported, all 9 of us or 8 of us get the notification immediately, and someone's going to see it within 15 minutes, and it's going to be taken care of immediately, you know?
Yeah. That's what Kathleen's saying. It was someone posted something, someone who didn't like something I posted, but it was literally taken care of before I could even report it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you who probably did is Katie. Katie Conquest is freaking on the ball, man. She is. I don't know what I would do without her. She is all over it. So, you know, all the mods are great, and they all do different things too. Like some of them aren't very active in the group, but they do things in the background, you know? So, yeah. Anyways, but okay. Well, we hit all the group stuff, I think, didn't we?
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked about Dark Secrets, and we talked about Evernight Faye. We talked about you coming to Orlando. If you guys haven't checked out her books, you need to try her books, and give them a go, because they are insane in a good way. So, anyways, alrighty,
Awesome.
Alrighty. Well, what time is it there?
9:30 a.m.
9:30. Well, you're starting your day, and I'm ending mine.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I know, it's 9:30 p.m. here. 12 hours exactly. So, all right, girl. Well, thank you. And thank you guys for who's been on here. Does anyone have any questions before we get off? Anything for Angie or for me? I know we've been talking forever. I appreciate all the people who've been commenting. That's really nice. It helps with activity. It helps people see the post. When people comment, it makes it show up more for people to see. So we appreciate it. And I don't see anything new, so I think we're good.
Cool. Awesome.
All right, girl. All right.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks everyone for coming.
Yes, definitely. Thanks for this. Thank you for doing this.
And happy birthday to the group.
Happy birthday to the group. I should have like a cake or something. So
yeah, I was thinking that, but
aw. All right. Well, to the next year, right? Year number 2. Hopefully it'll be great. So, all right, girl.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
See ya. You too.
Bye.